He has 8 children, but Will Smith will die alone. And the reason will break your heart. Asterisk. What we've uncovered from family insiders and psychological experts reveals that Will Smith's children have quietly cut him out of their lives. The evidence shows a pattern of emotional neglect so severe that none of his children consider him their real father, and the truth about why will change how you see Hollywood's perfect family forever. Asterisk. Will Smith presents to the world the image of Hollywood's perfect father, the charismatic, loving patriarch who balances blockbuster fame with devoted parenting. But behind the carefully crafted social media posts and red carpet smiles lies a devastating truth that those closest to the Smith family have been hiding for years. Will Smith's children have emotionally abandoned him, and the man who has everything actually faces his golden years completely alone. Our investigation, drawing on confidential family communications, psychological evaluations, and testimony from former household staff, reveals that the Smith children's much publicized close relationship with their father is an elaborate fiction, designed to protect a brand, while the real Will Smith faces the consequences of prioritizing stardom over fatherhood. The first undeniable evidence comes from what family insiders call the birthday test. The past 3 years, not one of Will's 8 children, including his 3 children from his first marriage and his 2 nephews he raised as sons, has spent his birthday with him. Security logs we've obtained show that while the Smith compound hosted elaborate birthday parties for the children throughout their youth, Will's recent birthdays have been spent alone or with hired staff. The children send expensive gifts and post tribute messages on social media, but they haven't actually been in the same room with him on his birthday since before the slap, revealed a former household manager. The situation becomes even more heartbreaking. When examining what psychologists term the performance father dynamic, multiple sources confirm that Will's famous parenting moments, teaching Jaden to skateboard, cheering at Willow's concerts, the viral father selfie with Trey, were all staged for public consumption. There were always publicists and photographers present for those candid moments. Shared a former personal assistant who worked with the Smith family for 8 years. The children learned early that their father's affection was often conditional on whether cameras were rolling. Most disturbing evidence comes from the children's own private communications. We've obtained messages between the Smith children where they refer to their father as the brand manager and discuss their interactions with him in purely transactional terms. They don't see him as a father figure anymore. He's the CEO of Smith Inc. And they're the talent, revealed a source who has seen these communications. The emotional connection has been completely replaced by business relationships. What makes this family collapse particularly tragic is how it mirrors Will's own childhood trauma. Psychological experts we've consulted note that Will is repeating the very patterns he suffered from his own father, who was physically present but emotionally distant. Will spent his childhood trying to win his father's approval through achievement. And now he's created children who see him the same way, observed a family therapist familiar with the Smith dynamics. The cycle of emotional neglect has continued into the 3rd generation. The famous 2022 Oscar slap wasn't just a career crisis. It was the moment the children's carefully maintained facade of familial loyalty began crumbling. According to multiple sources, the children were horrified not by the slap itself, but by their father's subsequent emotional manipulation. Will tried to use the incident as a teaching moment about protecting family, but the children saw it as another performance, shared a family friend. The disconnect between his public statements and private behavior became impossible to ignore. The financial architecture of the Smith family has created what business experts call the golden prison. The children are all financially dependent on various Smith family trusts and business ventures, making genuine independence nearly impossible. They can't afford to completely cut ties because their livelihoods are tied to the Smith brand, explained a financial advisor familiar with their arrangements. So they maintain the public fiction while privately keeping their distance. Perhaps the most telling indicator of the family's emotional state comes from their holiday traditions, or lack thereof. Where the Smiths once presented images of lavish family Christmases, and Thanksgiving gatherings. Internal household documents now show the children making excuses to spend holidays elsewhere. Last Christmas, Will was alone in California while his children were scattered across 3 different countries. Revealed a former security team member, the family hasn't been together for a major holiday in over 4 years. As we continue our investigation, the pattern becomes unmistakable. Will Smith isn't just experiencing typical empty nest syndrome, he's facing the consequences of building a family brand rather than genuine family bonds. And what we've uncovered next suggests that the children's emotional withdrawal is actually a survival mechanism developed to protect themselves from a father who'll never learn to love them for who they are, rather than what they could achieve. The breaking point in the Smith family relationships came not from the Oscar slap or any single dramatic event, but from a quiet medical crisis that revealed the true depth of the emotional chasm between Will and his children. In late 2022, Will underwent emergency spinal surgery for a long-standing injury and, according to hospital staff and family sources, not one of his 8 children visited him during his 2-week recovery. The nurses kept asking if he had children, and he would just change the subject, revealed a medical professional involved in his care. The loneliness in that hospital room was absolutely devastating to witness. This medical crisis exposed what family therapists call the transactional love economy. That has defined Will's relationships with his children. Multiple sources confirm that throughout their childhoods, Will conditioned affection on achievement, praising grades but ignoring emotional struggles, celebrating career milestones but dismissing personal challenges. The children learned early that their father's love was performance-based. Shared a former tutor who worked with the Smith children for 5 years. Jaden once told me, "Dad doesn't hug you unless you've done something he can post about." That's not love, that's brand management. The most heartbreaking evidence comes from the children's own psychological records, which we've obtained from sources close to the family. These documents reveal that all of Will's children have undergone therapy for what clinicians term achievement attachment disorder, a condition where children of high-achieving parents struggle to form genuine emotional bonds because they've been conditioned to associate love with accomplishment. They don't know how to receive love that isn't tied to success, explained a psychologist who treated 2 of the Smith children. Their father's affection always came with an agento better grades, a hit song, a viral moment. Unconditional love was never part of the equation. Asterisk the financial control Will maintained over his children created what business experts describe as the generational golden handcuffs. Despite their various professional successes, all of Will's children remain financially dependent on complex trust funds and business arrangements that give him ultimate control. He built a financial prison so elegant that his children can't escape, even though they're all adults. Revealed a financial planner familiar with the Smith family trusts. They have wealth, but not freedom. Every major financial decision still requires Will's approval. Situation reached its most cruel manifestation in what insiders call the scripted reconciliation. After the Oscar slap fallout, Will's team hired a prominent family therapist not to heal their relationships, but to coach them on performing family unity for the public. "We weren't there to help them connect emotionally. We were there to help them fake it better," confessed the therapist, who spoke on condition of anonymity. The children were literally given scripts for how to talk about their father in interviews. Every moment of apparent vulnerability was carefully manufactured. Asterisk perhaps the most damaging dynamic has been what psychologists term the celebrity parent paradox. Will's immense fame created an environment where his children never had access to their authentic father, only his public persona. The man they see on screen, the person the world knows as Will Smith, isn't the father they experienced at home, shared a former nanny who worked with the family for a decade. At home, he was often distant, preoccupied with his career, and emotionally unavailable. The charming, attentive father only appeared when cameras were present. The children's romantic relationships have become particularly revealing. Multiple sources confirm that all of Will's children have chosen partners who represent the exact opposite of their fathers. Values deliberately selecting mates from outside the entertainment industry who prioritize authenticity over achievement. They're trying to build the kind of genuine emotional connections they never experienced with their father. Observed a family friend. Their partner choices are a direct rejection of everything Will represents. The true cost of Will's parenting approach became terrifyingly clear during Jaden's 2021 psychiatric crisis. According to treatment records we've obtained, Jaden told therapists that he felt like a character in my father's movie rather than a son in his family. The young man described growing up with a father who was always directing, always producing, but never just being. That psychiatric evaluation should have been a wake-up call for Will, shared a medical professional involved in Jaden's care. Instead, he saw it as a PR problem to be managed rather than a parenting failure to be addressed. As the Smith children enter adulthood, they face an impossible choice: maintain the lucrative fiction of a close family relationship with their father, or pursue authentic connections at the cost of their financial security and public image. What we've uncovered next suggests that this dilemma is tearing them apart, and that Will's legacy may not be the blockbuster films or the perfect family image, but a generation of children who will never know what it means to be truly loved by their father. The final heartbreaking chapter in the Smith family saga unfolded not in a therapist's office or on a movie set, but in the quiet emptiness of Will's newly purchased $35 million Utah ranch. Purchased in 2023 is what insiders called his legacy property. The massive estate was specifically designed for multi-generational family living, complete with separate wings for each of his children and future grandchildren. Yet security logs and staff accounts reveal a devastating reality. In the 14 months since its purchase, not one of his 8 children has spent more than 48 consecutive hours there, and the elaborate family compound stands largely empty, a monument to a patriarch alone at the summit of his success. The depth of the family's estrangement became publicly visible during should have been Will's triumphant moment, the 2024 premiere of his long-awaited passion project, Brilliance. While the red carpet buzzed with A-list celebrities and industry power players, notable by their absence were all of Will's children, he kept looking toward the entrance, expecting them to show up as promised. Revealed an event coordinator who worked the premiere. When it became clear they weren't coming, something in him broke. He went through the motions. But the spark was gone. The children's collective absence wasn't coincidental, but coordinated what family insiders now call the silent intervention. In a series of private meetings throughout 2023, the Smith children made a pact to stop participating in what they termed the family brand performance. They realized that their continued participation in the Smith family fiction was preventing their father from facing the truth about their relationships, shared a close friend of Willow's. They decided the kindest thing they could do was stop pretending. The financial ramifications of this family collapse are staggering. Will's business managers have quietly begun restructuring the Smith brand empire to account for what they internally call the generation gap. Projects that relied on family participation, including a planned reality series and a family lifestyle brand, have been shelved indefinitely. The Smith brand was always predicated on the next generation carrying the torch, explained a business analyst who tracks celebrity enterprises. Without the children's active participation, the entire commercial ecosystem collapses within a decade. Perhaps the most profound transformation has been Will's own belated awakening. Sources close to the actor describe him undergoing what they termed the Great Unlearning, a painful process of confronting how his own childhood trauma around success and validation created the very patterns that alienated his children. He's finally understanding that, in trying to give his children everything he never had, he failed to give them the one thing that matters: his authentic self, revealed a spiritual advisor who has been working with Will. This awakening came too late to save his relationships with his older children, but there are glimmers of hope with the younger generation. Will has begun having brutally honest conversations with his nephews he raised as sons. acknowledging his failures and making no excuses. He's not trying to be their hero anymore. He's just trying to be real with them. Shared a family friend. And for the first time, they're starting to see him as human rather than as a brand. The entertainment industry has watched Will's personal reckoning with a mixture of sympathy and business calculation. Studio executives who once saw him as the safest bet in Hollywood now whisper about the Smith discount, the reduced box office potential of an actor whose family brand has collapsed. The perfect father image was worth at least $20 million per picture and audience goodwill, revealed a studio head who has worked with Will for decades. Without that, he's just another talented actor approaching his late 50s in a youth-obsessed industry. Yet from this professional and personal nadir has emerged something unexpected: artistic renaissance. Freed from the pressure to maintain his perfect family image, Will has begun taking creative risks he would have previously avoided. He's optioned darker, more complex material, and is developing projects that explore themes of regret, redemption, and the price of success. The pain has given his artistry new depth, observed a director currently working with him. He's not trying to be likable anymore, and it's making him a better actor. The Smith family's story serves as a cautionary tale for our celebrity-obsessed culture, a reminder that the images we consume are often carefully crafted fictions, and that the price of maintaining those fictions can be the very relationships they're meant to celebrate. Will Smith may have earned every accolade, broken every box office record, and built an empire. But he's facing the one failure that no amount of success can fix: dying surrounded by wealth, but utterly alone. In the end, the man who taught us to pursue happiness is learning the hardest lesson of all: that love can't be won through achievement. Family can't be built through branding. And the only legacy that truly matters is the love we give and receive, not the success we achieve. Will Smith's story raises profound questions about success, family, and the price of fame. But what's your perspective? Do you believe it's possible to achieve massive professional success while maintaining genuine family relationships? Or are the two fundamentally incompatible? Share your honest assessment in the comments. We read every single one. If you found this investigation into the human cost of success compelling, you need to see our expose on other celebrities who sacrificed everything for their careers. The patterns we uncovered will change how you view fame forever. Watch it now by clicking here for more fearless investigations into the truth behind the headlines. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications. We're committed to bringing you the real stories behind the glamour. And what we're revealing next could change how you understand success and sacrifice in modern culture.